So this is section 4.4b, part 1. So in this section, we're going to be looking at solving a missing variable. And just a reminder, slopes of parallel lines are equal, and slopes of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals. Okay, so this is a little bit different from what we've been looking at so far. But you just need to go through it step by step. Okay, so this question says, find a number, n, so that the line passing through the points 3, 2 and n, 8 has a slope of negative 2/3. So here they're giving us 2 points, and instead of asking us to find the slope, they're giving us the slope, and we have to find one of the numbers in one of the 2 points. So we're basically going to be using our formula, the same formula of m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're kind of using it backwards, okay? So we need to label everything as we normally would start. So here's our x1 and our y1, our x2 and our y2, and this is our m. And now we need to put everything into the equation. So we know that our m is negative 2/3. Our y2 is 8. Our y1 is 2. Our x2, now this is our n, so we'll just write an n here. And then our y1 is 3. Okay. So this first step, you just write in the information into the formula. Next step, this is something a little bit different. We're going to cross multiply. Okay, so when we cross multiply, this number on the bottom is going to go multiply this number up here. This number on the top is going to multiply this row down here. Okay, so when we do that, we get negative 2, and then we're going to open up our brackets. So negative 2 from up here. We open up our brackets, and we're going to write this inside. N minus 3, and then we'll write is equal to. We'll take this one, 3, and then 8 minus 2. Okay. Then, whenever we have a number here on the outside of brackets, it needs to multiply both of these terms inside the bracket. Okay. Big mistake that people make is they'll take the negative 2 and they'll only multiply it to the n, to this first, whatever this is, the n in this case. Okay. But it needs to multiply both things. So I'm going to show that as 2 little arrows. Like this. Okay. And this one, I'm not going to multiply yet. You could, if you wanted to, multiply the 3 to the 8 and the negative 2. But I'm just going to make this a little simpler first. I'm going to simplify in this bracket. Okay. So this becomes negative 2n plus 3, because we have negative 2 times negative 3, which gives us a positive. And then we get 3 times 6, so 8 minus 2 gives us 6. So then we can multiply 3 times 6. We get 18. All right, so the next thing we want is we want to have n by itself. So if we want to have n by itself, we need to move everything else over to the other side. Okay, so we are going to move any numbers that don't have a letter with them. We're going to move those first, and we're going to save this number that is stuck to the end till the very last step. So first we're going to move the 6. So this 6 is being added. So to move it to the other side, we're going to do the opposite of adding. We're going to subtract to both sides. So we're going to subtract 6. Here, This plus 6 minus 6, they cancel each other out. So we end up with negative 2n. And then we have 18 minus 6, that gives us 12. Our next step is to get rid of this negative 2, which is stuck to the n. So in this case, when you have negative 2 like this in front of an n, it means it's multiplying. So the opposite of that is going to be dividing. So we're going to divide both sides by minus 2. When we do that, this negative 2, this negative 2 and this negative 2, they cancel out. So we have then, on this side, we have 12 divided by negative 2. So we get n is equal to negative 6. And that is the final answer for this one. Okay? We'll do another example. The line through points x, negative 1, and 11, 2 have the same slope as a line through points 2, 4, and 4, 10. Determine x. Okay, so this question, they're not giving us a slope. They're saying, do the same thing as this, but instead of giving you a slope, we're going to give you points like this, and you have to find the slope. So we'll label x1, y1, x2, y2 for these ones. x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to start with whatever set of points has no letters, that has all the numbers in it. So this one has a letter, this one has no letters. So we're going to start with this set of points. Okay. Our step 1 is going to be to find the slope. We didn't need to do that in the last question because they already gave it to us. So find our slope. We have m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Our y2 is 10 and our y1 is 4. So we get 10 minus 4. Our x2 is 4 and our x1 is 2. So we end up with 6 over 2, and we can simplify that to be 3. So that's our slope of 3. Now our second step is going to be to find x. So step 2, we are now starting off at the same place we were with this question. Okay, we're going to find x. So we're going to write out our formula again. Then we're going to put in the information that we know. So we know that our m is 3. We just found it. I'm going to write it as 3 over 1 because it's easier to multiply that way. So anytime you have a whole number like 3, it's always over 1. Then I can fill in my information. So remember, I'm using this set of points. So my y2 is 2. My y1 is negative 1. So I have negative, negative. So it's like saying plus 2 plus 1. And then my x2 is 11 and my x1 is x. So 11 minus x. So then I'm going to cross multiply again. Okay, that's the step. Cross multiply. So I get 3, 11 minus x is equal to 1, 2 plus 1. I just want to note something. I could have written 1, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, 11 minus x. I could have flipped the order like this. These are exactly identical. Okay, you can write it this way with the top number on the left here and this one on the right, or you could write it this way. What's important is that whatever is on the top left is going with whatever's on the bottom right. Whatever's on the bottom is going with whatever's on the top over here. Okay, so it's important that these two things go together, but in terms of which is on the right and the left down here, it doesn't matter. Okay, anyway, side note. Okay, so now I'm going to simplify 3, 11 minus x is equal to 1. 2 plus 1 is going to give me 3. Now, then I can multiply. I'm going to do 3 times 11, and I'm going to do 3 times negative x. And here I'm going to do 1 times 3. So I end up with 33 minus 3x is equal to 3. So now I'm going to move the 33 over to the other side. I'm going to move this one first because it doesn't have a letter with it. So it's positive, so that means I'll subtract 33 to both sides. So the 33 and the negative 33 cancel out, so I'm just left with negative 3x. And then negative 33 plus 3 is going to give me negative 30. Then I want to get rid of the negative 3 that's stuck to the x. So means the fact that it's stuck to the x means it's multiplying. So then the opposite of that is going to be divide everything by negative 3. So I get x is equal to negative 30 divided by negative 3 gives me 10. So my final answer for x is equal to 10. So now I want you to go to page 178 and try numbers 10 to 13 from page 178. And they're just like these last two examples that we did. And come back for part 2.